Ah, welcome. Yes, I know. You thought we weren't going to be here. Haha, we're here. So, joke's on you. We're here. All right, so welcome to Drakenmemoria. And for those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, if this is not something you want to watch, well, depending on where you're watching this from, you have suggestion either on the left or the right. I would suggest that you take one of those. If you're here for any other reason except shouting obscenities in the chat, you're welcome to be here. It's a pleasure to have you with us, whether you are a new viewer, an old viewer, or somewhere in between. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us, and we hope you're going to have a pleasant evening. Nicely timed owl. Yeah, that's about everything that I could probably say before we start. If you like the owl, if you like the fire crackling, ambient mixer, there's a link below. You'll be able to find this incredible website where you can make ambience. Then you can, of course, download it after. You only need to pay to download them, so you can build them or find one that you like whenever you like. It's always fun. Bit frustrating sometimes, but fun anyway. But yeah, that's about it. And Chaotic Calling probably joining us later on. So you have links below if you were interested in those. And for everything else, well, just stay tuned and you're going to know exactly where we are because we have a small recap. I just realized a few days ago that I tried to make a long recap before the beginning of each episode. I mostly fail because it's always too long and spend too much time repeating things of lesser importance. And then I just realized, hey, every week I post a recap on the D&D Beyond. It is so much more concise because I have the entire evening to make it. So why not just read that? So here's the recap when I have time to actually make it. Last episode, the party gathered themselves after battle. Eager to learn more about the construct they just saved and why the town was attacked, the party decided to question everyone involved in the incident: the construct, the villager, and the single surviving rogue, who had just seen half of its party being slaughtered, including one being bisected and eaten by large wolves.
And one just exploded.
Yeah, and one just exploded with a impulse of radiant energy given by audience who scored a critical hit along with a few interesting bonuses to his divine smite. So, let's just say that the rogue's interrogation was easier than it could have been. Each of the three parties revealed a piece of the puzzle. In the end, even though some misinformation was slipped in the conversation by the rogue, the party felt that they had a good enough picture of the situation and decided to help the villager and the construct as best they could. So they called for reinforcement from an old friend, and even though audience was psychologically pressed to keep on going with his quest, he decided to do the noble thing and convince the party, although the party didn't need much convincing, to remain in the village until the reinforcement arrive. And this is exactly where we left off. 10 hours had passed since this agreement has been made, and the sun is starting to set. This is where we left off. So, Jorg, Audience, Tobiyashi, and Remy, you have all mostly done whatever you wanted for the day. I believe Jorg took a long rest to recover a few of his spells. Fisher also took his long rest. Well, he took his rest anyway. Which means
He took the rest he was owed.
I would have because what time is it right now?
it's been 10 hours. So if you didn't want to take a long rest, you can certainly have short rests.
No, I would have taken it. I would have started sleep. I don't know if I didn't know if there had been enough time, but I would have waited till the evening, and we got there fairly early in the day, so I don't know if there would have been time for me to get my full long rest. Is my question. I'd either be asleep right now or have my rest.
Okay. So yeah, you got there very early in the day, probably something like 9 in the morning. So now it's been it's roughly 7 o'clock. The sun is starting to set. You can easily have taken a long rest if you wanted to, or you can have taken the day to prepare the village or ask more questions.
So if it hadn't been night, I would not have taken the long rest realistically.
Okay.
I would probably be getting ready to go to bed right now. I would have taken the short rest.
Okay. So yeah, this is where everyone is right now. So those who didn't take a long rest, which means probably Audience, Tobiyashi, and Remy, because I believe that either way, no, Audience, you took a few spell slots, but you're gonna retake them during your rest. But I believe Tobiyashi and Remy, you can rejuvenate all of your resources with a short rest. So
I can rejuvenate nothing. I have nothing.
You have nothing.
You get your channel divinity back, which you can use to get spell slots back.
I have
Although
that back.
Although I believe he already did that during the bandit fight.
I did.
And he has to wait one more level before he can do that twice a day.
No, well, but I got my channel divinity. Oh, but turning it into a spell. Yes.
Yeah, turning it
Well,
into
I
a
have
spell
my
slot.
channel-
You're
I
always
have
going to
my
get your
channel-
channel divinity back.
I got my channel divinity back, but yes, Remy is correct. I can also know I only have one level 1 spell slot. No spells.
all right. I don't remember. I think you didn't call back Onak.
I never. No, we do not call back.
We didn't call him back because one of the last things we did was that interrogation. So
Yeah,
I
we
was going to wait until Olenek had the equivalent of a long rest before I planted him back down.
Yeah, and right now it's been a long rest. Like I said, it's been 10 hours since the fight, so he's had time to take a long rest in his own realm, being taken care of by dryads, because, they just like taking care of trees.
So
Yeah,
as of right now,
I can say with certainty that that dryads are very skilled at taking care of large pieces of wood. Anyway, Remy
What?
will probably around like the 6 or 7 o'clock mark to give find a nice place in the village and just plant a little seed.
All right. Plant the seed. It just takes a few moments. Yes, Tobiyashi, I believe you want to really want to say something.
but okay. All I need
Go
to
ahead.
know is why are we waiting for reinforcements to come?
Because the villagers were afraid that the rogues would come back and attack before reinforcement had time to arrive. And since Fisher didn't want to give them the code to override the any command given to the construct, the villager felt that they were a bit defenseless.
Also, just to double check, the command word we have,
Yes.
is it
We
to
all know it.
override any command, or because you said it was to override the command to not kill villagers?
It's to force the command that the last command that has been given. So if for example you give him the order to help people, and then suddenly you decide that, I don't know, a goblin has arrived, it needs to be killed, he's gonna go with the priority command to help villagers, but you can force him to do this with this command. And it's
Okay.
for you, Fisher. You can understand why even Civ took it as something offensive, because it's the same thing as giving you the whip and telling you, no, do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of will force bending that happens when it receives this command.
Okay. Well, then I guess I wouldn't have given it to the villagers for different reasons than I didn't give it to the villagers. So we're still at the same spot.
So only Fisher knows this word.
I
right?
assumed that the reason why you
Right
didn't
now.
give it to the villagers was the reason why you didn't give it to the villagers. But I suppose there was a side reason for why you didn't give it to the villagers. That happened to be the main reason.
Absolutely. Tobiyashi, you heard what Remy said.
Just like, I see. So what's the commit? No,
Although I guess one extra thing that I know Raimi would have done, especially
Yes.
since they're dealing with those of a roguish nature, and he would have only taken a short rest during this day. He would have I would say within essentially he would have scoped out the surrounding area of the town, just outside the walls,
Okay.
and essentially looking for places that seemed particularly vulnerable that maybe would be taken advantage of if a larger group were looking to plan an invasion.
Okay. So, like I said, the wall isn't a complete wall. It's a sort of a half wall, just to make sure that people know, okay, so the house is finished here, and after that, it's the field.
Oh no, I'm not talking necessarily about the wall.
Okay.
I'm not looking at this as like a siege situation.
Okay.
I'm looking more as there, for example, there are pathways that lead themselves, into the town's area,
Yeah.
or
So the town is. The town is located at nearly a crossroads. So at the center of this town, there really are 4 paths connecting. One going, it's roughly the. All right, so it's the cardinal cross, but it's been tilted to the side slightly like this. So this is why it's mostly exactly the 4 cardinal points, but slightly tilted to one side. As far as secondary road, well, of course, there are a few secondary road leading out, just because the peasants would have taken the same road to always go to the field. You can easily find there's one way that leads slightly out of the village toward a storing shed where bigger equipments would be just before leaving for the fields. Towns rely less on fields and herding animal to survive. It's because they're larger, they usually exchange a lot of services with the different villages around. So you'd have maybe one or two storage area, and there's definitely a path leading from those to outside. But the rest is just the normal paths that villager would have taken simply because it's shorter to get there. It's a shortcut from, my house is placed like this and the well is just over there, so I'm going to take a little shortcut right in front of my neighbor's house.
Yeah, so like basically the intention is that basically about, like just about a I would say maybe we'll go with like about half a mile out of town, and he would have done this like probably around like 5 or 6 p.m.
Okay.
He is going to set some alarms on the major pathways.
Okay.
So that essentially, at the very least, paying particularly attention in the middle of the night, as a possible way of getting advance notice if people are making their way on those roads in the middle of the night.
Okay. So the 4 main entries into the town, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, so long as the points are within a mile of where Rainy is, he will get a mental ping.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough to do. It's a town. It's not a large city, so basically, if you're standing in the middle of the town, you can probably hear it, no matter which sensor gets triggered. Okay. So, well, that's gonna help the visual. So basically, once Remy finishes doing this, he goes sit on top of the tallest building and just stands there like a crow at a crossroad.
He's like, either that or a very big and feathery weather vane.
Okay. So,
well, because you kind of described as had like the 4 cardinal directions, and then there's a bird in the middle.
Yeah. So long as there is no piece of metal sticking up his.
Rainy is crying the whole time.
All right. Yeah, no problem. That's easily doable. All right. Well, in that case, I'd say Tobiyashi and audience, is there something you'd like to do during the 10 hours?
I would just go around and help people out, I guess. They did just get attacked, right?
Yeah.
Well, a while ago.
A few hours ago, yeah, they just got rescued.
Just go around, help people, like, if stuff got destroyed, help them rebuild stuff, and, like, see how people are doing around the village town place.
Well, you get the impression that they got a pretty awe-inspiring or fear-inducing display of power right from the start, so not a lot of people wanted to retaliate. And that being suggested by the scorch mark right next to the main inn of this town. Quite severe, and
that used to be Jimmy.
Aww.
Wait, so did they get the command word before they attacked the town?
As far as you've been able to tell, what happened is when the rogue openly attacked the town, they took prisoner the mayor and his family, and since no one got out of there, They pretty much believe they were all tortured until the commands of the construct were given and then killed.
Okay.
Tobiyashi, I'd say, just with your passive insights, you can easily tell that a lot of these people have been severely traumatized in different ways. And it doesn't take a lot of imagination for you to figure out that, well, they were captured and crushed in spirits for at least a full day by people who thought that it was funny to make them blow up just for fun with a construct. So your imagination can easily keep on going and say, all right, well, some of these people have probably gone through things that usually tyrants would use to make sure that no one wants to rebel, you know? Yeah, go ahead, rebel. These are going to happen to your sons and daughters. Go ahead, try.
I see.
So most of the damage is more on the psyche of the people than in the village itself.
All right. I'll continue to walk around, just observing the area, making sure, not that everyone is good, that I don't see anything strange going on. Like, I would say people huddling up or like people talking about stuff. Try to overhear certain conversations if I do find one. And I would continue doing this and thinking while bouncing my ball. And, and yeah. And just looking around, seeing how it all goes. Just observing what I already know.
Just to make sure that everyone knows, it's a ball that he bought at Ganbu's. It's
not. Yeah.
It's not the one that was damaged, and it's not one of the twos he carries naturally for being a man. So,
That would be a neat party trick, though.
I have to admit that it would be impressive. Just reminded me of the. It's a friend of my father's. When I was younger, he just kept saying that it's the legend of the Carancassacas. What's special about this bird? Well, he has a pretty impressive package. So every time he starts landing, you always hear right before he lands, ooh, 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 ooh. Come on. Back to the normal episode. So,
Gosh.
At one point, Tobiyashi, you do notice that your pendant seemed to be hanging out the side pocket of some villager.
Oh. I look around on my body. I'm like, that's where that went. Okay. I'm gonna walk up to him and do I try to sneak it out of his pocket? Let's see. I don't want to scare him anymore. I'll walk up to the gentleman.
As Ganbu told you, it's in the nature of the pendant to do this on its own. It was created by a god. So it's most likely the god trying to draw your attention to something, or it can be the god playing a prank on you. Usually more it's trying to draw your attention to something, but it can be just a prank by a god.
Okay. I am going to walk up to the man and I'll say, hello there.
He acts quite surprised when you just talk to him. Yes, can I help you?
I'm not sure. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. See, so you have something of mine in your pocket. This isn't like I'm not.
He becomes extremely nervous when you start by saying you have something of mine in your pocket. You
I'm
notice
not trying
this. He become really.
yeah. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. No. I just I have this pendant that gets lost a lot, and I was wondering if you could check your pocket and let me know if you have it.
Okay. Starts looking around and oh, goodness. I don't know how that got there. Here. And he gives it back to you, opening his hand.
It's okay. It's okay. So you. What should I? So how did you take the whole ordeal that happened the other day? If you don't mind me asking, if you're okay to talk about it.
Oh, well, it's not my favorite subject, but I guess we can talk about it if you want to. Is there
Oh, yeah.
something in particular that you want to know?
Just how you felt about the whole thing. Like what you went through during the time.
Well, nervous, of course. I mean, we were attacked by a bunch of rogues. They literally came out of nowhere. Is that what? Is that? Is this what you want to talk about?
I mean, it would give me more information on what we'd be defending ourselves against and all that. I
Oh,
see that you
okay.
guys aren't really into trying to rebuild and all that.
Well, not a lot of things were destroyed. I mean, we lost food. They took some food. But it's a bit late in the season. We can't really start growing anything. And besides, we take most of our supplies from trading with everyone else. It's a town. We're a bit the center of attention for the surrounding villages. We have higher quality goods, and they have food. So,
This is a question for the DM. How big is this town? Like, can I walk from one side to the other in like an hour or two?
yeah. So, in the Middle Ages, a village would usually have between 6 and 12 houses. A town would be able to go in the area of maybe 20 houses, 20, 25 houses. And cities, well, let's just say that a city with 50 house is supposed to be really large. Now, in Dungeons and Dragons, Middle Age has been happening for over 1,000 years, so things can get slightly bigger than this, but probably more cities that would feel this passage of time and becoming much greater than they were here. I'd say for town and villages, it would probably be very similar. So yeah, 25 houses. This being a larger one, I'd say, especially since you're a monk, you'd most likely be able to walk from one end to the next within an hour.
Okay. I'll tell him. So, is this kind of like a tight knit community? Do you guys know each other that well? Like your neighbors?
Well, I know my neighbors, yeah, but not a lot of the people that I don't need to interact every day. I mean, I know their name, and we all know one another a little bit. We all go to the same temples. But other than that, it's... I don't know much about the basket maker. It's other than he has a wife and 2 sons and a daughter. And one of the daughters is supposed to... I believe they said that she was gonna try and become a wizard. That's... Don't know much about that, but if you want to know more about Fishmonger, yeah, sure, I can talk to you about this. We take a pint every day.
Okay. Well, thank you for talking with me. I hope you have a good rest of your day, considering what's happened. And I'll see you around.
Yeah, sure. See you around. As he's leaving, you do notice that he seems to be trying to hide the pouch that the pendant was hanging from.
Mm-hmm.
He walks in a way that suggests that he's trying to not focus at it. He's trying to make sure that people don't focus on it, and so it draws more attention to it.
I see. Which way does he walk?
He seems to just be going toward one of the houses.
Okay. I'm gonna secretly follow him.
All right. Well,
Let him gain some distance, and then I'll just slowly trail him.
all right. Well, make a stealth roll. If you
All
don't
right.
want him to notice.
Let's go. Oh, okay. I got a 15. 9 plus
Okay.
6.
Follow him for maybe between 5 and 10 minutes. Then eventually you see him arrive at a house, and he starts walking toward the door, and just before entering, he looks around, makes sure that no one seems to be watching him. You have a little moment where there is a little scare that creeps in. You feel the cold sweat in your back as he's looking in your direction, but he just keeps looking.
It's like,
all right,
did he see me?
doesn't look like he saw me. You see him
All right.
just before entering. He crouches down. He pushes a rock over. He takes something out of his pouch, puts it under the rock, put the rock back in, and you hear him enter the house and just yelling a normal, "Honey, I'm back."
Okay. Well, I'll sneak up to the house, and I will check what he put under the rock real quick.
Right.
Sleight of hand, stealth. What?
Well, I'd say yes, stealth, because you're not doing the same thing. Now you're
Okay.
trying to get near his home and move stuff to see if you can.
Yeah. Okay. Stealth, and that is a 6 plus 6, so 12.
All right. So you carefully get closer, and you don't hear any noise. You find the rock that he just pushed over. You push it. Sorry, I don't know why I keep having these hiccups. You push it over, and you notice that there's something dug in, as if he placed the rock to hide a hiding place. And deep inside, you can see a small bag. You
Oh. Yeah, he won't know. He won't know. What should I? I don't know what it is. Alright, how about this? I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna walk away from the house. I'm gonna try to remember which house. What does the house look like?
okay?
Is it distinct, or does it look like every other house?
Make an intelligence roll to make a mental picture.
Intelligence.
We're gonna see how precise that mental picture is.
Okay. Intelligence. Oh, that's a 10.
It's an average mental picture.
Yeah. That's what everyone else sees.
You try and notice something that stands out, and you're like, oh yeah, there are red flowers at the front. Oh, got it. I mean, usually there's not too many red flowers, so
Yeah.
So yeah, you remember very generic detail that it stands out. So you reach in, you grab the bag, you pull it out, and just as you're about to leave, you hear the window just above you open. Quite literally, you're an inch under the height of the window, and you feel it open right above your head.
Oh. I quickly hide
Well, technically, you are hiding right
out in the
now.
open.
No, you just took the bag under the rock. It's just as you're about to get up, you feel that window opening and just
Oh!
right above
Okay,
your
okay.
head.
I duck back down. Well, yeah, I kind of go a little bit shorter, and I'm gonna stick to the wall and see what happens when he opens. See what happens after the window's just open there, with me sitting underneath it.
So you have this moment of and you see the wood shutter of the window open. You hear a child voice, a little girl says, "I don't see them arriving. I think they're supposed to be arriving in a few minutes. I'll make sure that everything's ready." And then you hear the door opening.
Oh! I'm gonna crawl to the other side where the door's not and try to get around the house.
You make your best to crawl out of this place, and you go right to the side. And you see the door opening, you see someone coming out. Looks like a human boy, probably in the area of 11 years old. He responds to his mother, but in your mind it's just the but
You get to the side of the house?
you get to the second house.
Okay. I'm going to
Because
calmly...
you rolled a 12 for your rolls, and I rolled the
Yeah.
entire family. 2 of them rolled 11s.
Oh,
That's why.
okay.
I just need to remind the audience that that Tobiyashi is a monk fighter. And we continue.
Yes. After that, after I'm in the clear, I'm gonna stand up, brush my clothes off like nothing happened, and before I even look in the pouch, I just put it in my pocket and walk away into the sunset.
So with the
Just gonna continue walking.
with the rush of adrenaline, you walk away. Why?
I think I'm safe now.
No one seems to be following you.
All right. I look at the pendant to see if it's still on me, if it disappeared again.
Right now, it's still on you. Right now.
Okay. I'm going to carefully look into the pouch to see what he was looking at.
You open the pouch, and it's a solid pound of salt. I see your frown. Just remember that in the Middle Ages, salt is
Yeah.
one of the costliest resource peasant could buy. It's inevitable. They all need it, but it's usually the priciest thing that a peasant will try to buy. It's the thing that eats up the one of the greater share of their money.
Their kids
you
better
can't be
not
too
got
salty
sick
about
this
it.
winter, basically.
Well, I just took some poor people's salt.
Well,
Okay.
seeing as
I'm
how
just gonna...
seeing as how he was trying to hide it, there is a thought in your mind that creeps in that you might have stolen a pound of salt from someone who stole a pound of salt.
I see him. All right. I'm gonna continue walking around the village and until I find one of my companions doing something.
All right. So you can
That's
add
pretty
in,
much it.
you can add in your inventory a pound of salt.
A pound of salt. Okay.
It's actually there. You can actually really add that. It's part of the special resources. I think it's worth 5 silver, something like that.
Oh yeah, it's like there's now a specific magic item where you need to buy 200 pounds of salt. But yeah, it's 100% something you can buy in pounds.
Okay.
So, well, yeah, it's a town. If you just roam about, hoping to find some of your friends, it might take you a little bit of time, but
There's a sinister crow several meters above you.
that's what I was gonna say. If you are looking for your friend actively, you are going to notice that Remy is acting like a crow at a crossroad. So,
Let's see.
there's something slightly ominous about this. But then again, you notice that right under him there's a tree holding a handkerchief of murderous intentions. So
That's never good. I'm gonna walk away from there, and I don't like to feel like I'm being murdered. You know, like I'm gonna be murdered.
You know, just like you know what they call a group of crows?
I know that one. Yeah.
All right, and then I guess you could go to what audience is doing now.
All right. Well, audience, what do you do during your 10 hours?
As I said before, I would have reported the information that we basically got from Fisher and the Rogue to Civ in the garden as they came. So I would have made the report with the added information, and then probably for the rest of the time, I would have just, gone around, kind of asked, maybe if there were any defenders among the town, looked at any potential defensive locations in case the rogues did come back that we could hold up in, tried to maybe work out a plan with any of the village leaders in case there was an attack again.
Talk to girls.
I mean, if any girls wanted to talk to me, they were free to. I'm walking around.
Come one, come all.
Well, no, especially priestess, the ones that would be the most impressed by a pillar of light killing a rogue.
Yeah, if anyone wants to know what caused that pillar of light, I tell them about the dragon and hand them a booklet.
Well, just as you've been used to during your travels, your divine inspiration easily draws the attention of children, especially when they see something that feels like what they should have heard from a bard. Oh wow, I've actually seen something a bard would talk about. So of course you get a few questions during the day, a few children that just follows you around. Some start asking questions about the life of a paladin and what it's like and how it feels like to wield light. Some of them ask about the god that you worship because, some of them know that it's usually tied to a god. and that god must be so powerful to bake a person with radiant light.
Yep,
I mean,
they are.
you have this kid who seems to be traumatized in the better sense of the word by this, who just keeps following you all
You're back.
day and keeps repeating to you, my mother overbaked cookies once. It looked like that.
That's worrying, but okay. Yeah. I think I would more be focused on, like, I'd probably respond to the kids, but I'd be a lot more focused on making sure that the town was, like, defensible and speaking to the elders about defense.
Yeah.
I'd entertain.
No, I understand. I just wanted to make that kid who thinks
Yeah.
that it looks like a baked cookie. Hey, chaotic calling. So yeah, after talking with the acting mayor, we have to say, of the town, a few buildings are more prone to resisting attack. The inn, the first floor, is completely made of stone, and so that's why the higher I just forgot the word. The floor above the first one. Second and third floor. There was a word specifically that I wanted to use because it sounded better, but hey, let's go with what my mind can recall. Second and third floor are made out of wood, so that's why they got damaged, but the first floor is mostly reinforced by stone. Of course, there's the temple. Temple are usually made out of stone, and so are more resilient than most building. And there's of course the Lord's Manor, who, although is not as fortified as a castle, it can withstand attack better than the average peasant house. But being right between two major cities, they would usually see it coming from very far away if someone wanted to attack with large armies, so they probably just flee. Because if they can take on Otanel with its skyport, there is no chance that they can survive the onslaught of whatever would be arriving and getting through the defenses of either of the large city on each side. So,
Okay, so not too much defense put aside.
no, there is a plan if there is an absolute emergency that they can go toward the mountains. It's a day and a half of walk, but they do have a series of tunnels in these mountains which they could go, and if either of the larger cities on each side of them were to fall, they have a place where they can take refuge, but it's a day away from where they are, so they never really considered defending the city against someone that would attack in great numbers. Of course, there was a town militia, and they did try and resist a little bit, but this being a town, the moment that the rogues started to threaten children of the town, lot of the militiamen just folded. And for those who decided to keep on resisting, well, they are a few family members short now. So let's say their resolve isn't what it used to be.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume not much in terms of defense, but
The Dragonborn that heads the militia is still very much eager to fight, but as he mentions, not a lot of people remains from his militia. Those who don't have anything to lose stayed, but the other ones, they were pretty thoroughly broken.
okay.
It's pretty minimal for defense. And of course, the temple. Well, you could hide everyone in the 3 buildings, but how do you decide who goes into the inn, who goes in the temple, and who goes in the Lord Manor? Everyone will want to go to either the temple or the Lord's Manor. Not a lot of people are going to want to go to the inn, but there's not enough room in those 2 buildings to cover everyone. So it's not an ideal situation.
Makes sense.
Now, see, how many people do we got here? We can dig a hole at the bottom of one, and then they could escape by digging a hole
Okay.
for a couple days.
Well, that's basically what I do. That's basically what I do.
Okay.
It's my day. Just walk around, talk to people. If you'd be willing to help fight, report everything to the civ of what we got from them. The town and how they said they'd update that as a quest marker. And yeah.
As you try to reach Civ, you have trouble reaching him. He doesn't seem to be answering, but Syrah does confirm that he is on the move right now, because she can actually track where the orb is, and she does confirm that the orb is moving quite rapidly in your direction.
Okay. And I'll let her know about the town of Rose
Well,
and their numbers.
alright. When you say this, you'd probably notice, even for you, a good audio clue that Syrah feels torn by what you're saying. And she does just say to you, I wish I could help you, but unfortunately I can only see as much as the orb can see. If you can find a way to increase my visual range, I will do as much as I can, but from here I can only know where all 5 of you are.
I meant like the town where how we got from the road and then I'd show her on the map where they said that there'd been someone. You said that they'd updated that as a quest board for the future last session. I don't know if that.
Well, if the town survives this, until next morning, there will be a recurring quest to gather information about this construct who is becoming sentient. So, most likely every week, someone will be dispatched with a few tool to analyze, and they will visit the town. So we'll have periodic weekly update from the town. But honestly, there's not a lot more we can do. As you know, we only have one warden who can leave the garden, and the rest depends on the adventurer's willingness to take on small quests with very little rewards. And you know adventurers. Rewards motivates them.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. I actually have to go like real quick. Like, give me 1 second to go ask one of my roommates.
That's alright.
Sorry.
That's alright. In that case, we're gonna go to Jorgen Fisher. We already did Remy, we already did Tobiyashi. Jorgen Fisher. Fisher was taking his sentry rest, and Jorg, well, you know, taking his normal rest. Probably near where where Fisher was, so you'd probably be waking up roughly at the same time. Fisher, you are aware that Jorg is taking a moment to recover his spells. But like I said, you'd be coming out of slumber, or your equivalent of slumber, roughly at the same time. Probably around 5 or 6 o'clock.
The only other thing I'd be doing is attuning to the banishing whip.
Okay. That's easy enough to do. You can probably do that while you are doing your long rest. You just wrap it around yourself and think about it for an hour while you're in your sentry rest. It doesn't
Wrap it around your waist like a nice belt.
It doesn't state anywhere that it's exhausting to tune to something, so for you can probably do it in your sleep.
Yeah, that's... And then I guess I would just kind of be... You said I got out of it like 6?
Between 5 and 6 o'clock, yeah. And no, I don't mean 5:30.
I would probably just be hanging out with the construct, even though it's not like, you know, most of the time it just isn't sentient yet, but
you do have a feeling that the children's are probably the one who will get over everything that happens the easiest, as some of them are already making fun of him in children-like ways. You see one strapping ropes around him. You see another one just you see a few children using him as a maypole, you know. You even see one kid just trying to reach his head, trying to look in his eyes, just going, "Are you in there? They said you're in there somewhere." And just poking his eyes like this. It's not reacting. And in a few moments, you hear all the children laughing at stuff they do, and it sort of brings back a few memories of. You look at him, and right now you'd probably feel slightly embarrassed being treated like that. But when you think about when you were just starting to gain consciousness, when you were with your original crew, there were moments that you remember that everyone was laughing and looking in your direction. So there's sort of this moment of, were they making fun of me?
Well, I don't have a lot of experience with kids, but this doesn't seem like abusive behavior, so
Might be a bit embarrassing.
I'm not gonna scare all the kids away.
You noticed one while you were in your sentry rest. Once tried to look up your nose, or at least where your nose should be.
Mhm.
It was a 5-year-old boy, you know.
No. That's not super surprising.
Would be if he had been 8, but 5? That's But yeah, that's mostly what happens as you're watching him, and you don't see a lot of these moments where he seems to be paying attention. He does react from time to time when one of the children tries to push him into action, you know, take his arm and pull on it and try to see if he's going to lose his balance. And then when he finally moves a bit, you hear all the children go, ah! And they just disperse everywhere and they come back after 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Didn't the one of the town leaders didn't they say that they wanted his help doing stuff
Well,
like prepping the
yeah, well, you said you were hanging with him after you wake up, so he didn't stay the entire 8
Okay.
hours staring at you.
yeah, I'd just be guarding, I guess. Making sure no misguided villagers were out for revenge.
Well, right now there doesn't seem to be anyone looking for revenge, and kids seem to be more curious than anything else. Of course, you do have a few reactions that you'd prefer that villagers do not have as the time is passing. You do notice a mother coming to retrieve her child, and then reacting a bit stronger than she should when she realized that her child has been playing with the construct. I hear a few comments that you're used to hearing, or at least you used to be used to hearing them, but you know, sort of stay away from him. It's from that thing. It's you don't know how it could act. Come on, now. All right, Mom. But it mostly stays to that level. With a few swear words sometimes. You do notice that some of them look at you right before they answer, and they seem to think about what they're about to say and then leave.
And the other thing was when Terranad, so with his perfect timing, said that the rogue probably wasn't being honest about how long it would take for the rogues to get back, or for them to show up in general, I would relate that to audience.
Okay. Yeah, and you get the feeling that Terranad giving you this information was something that he realized in the hindsight, but he's passing it as it was obvious. Come on.
Yeah, yes, he does. Makes sense. Yeah, that'd pretty much be it.
Okay. So, audience, you've also been made aware that there might have been a little bit of dishonesty in.
I assumed. That's why I went to. That's why I said I did what I did, because I assumed that Fisher updated me on that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jorg.
Oh, also,
Yes.
could I have been? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do anything invasive, but questioning the construct about its blaster cannon / yard work arm.
Make
Investigation.
I'd say investigation or arcana.
Is the same. Balls. That's an 11.
Well, it's pretty average, you know. It's when you go below 10 that you can really say that roll sucked.
I mean, the roll was balls. I just have a decent bonus to Arcana. Rolled a 5.
Oh, well, in that case.
Oh, we're rolling balls now?
Isn't that a D100? Yes, for those who haven't seen it, a D100 does look like a ball.
Yeah.
If your eyesight's bad enough, I mean, a D12 looks like a ball.
Well, you know, if there's a lack of resolution, a D4 can look like a ball, so... You get the feeling... Well, your answer revolves a bit... Let's just say that your answer are going in circles a bit. It really feels like he is at the complete beginning of becoming sentient. So most of his answers are simply him asking for more information because he's not sure about what you're asking. But there is element of his arm cannon that feels very much like the preferred tool of an artificer. The way that it modifies itself.
Oh. And that takes like 6 hours.
Well, if it takes 6 hours, you're probably going to have a few moments where you hear Terranad go, "Oh, God." And when you inevitably pass the comment, "Well, he's just waking up," you're going to hear him say, "Not him."
And once it starts getting dark, I would head to find audience or the wall guard or
Okay.
whatever everybody has set up.
The wall guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shepherd, you know. He's sitting on a
Yeah.
wall and...
Militia people.
Yeah. What about you, Jorg?
Jorg, what was his new folding workstation called?
Oh, it is the Cabinet of Potion Making, I believe.
Cabinet of Potion Making. There it is. He wants to try and make some healing potions with that. Or one. It takes like 8 hours or something. Is that a rule?
Um,
And money.
well, that's always something that's a bit harder to define because usually in the 8 hours, they sometime also refer to the time you take to gather the ingredients. And the money is sometimes the cost that the ingredient costs you.
You're not just dumping the...
So if you gather your own ingredients, it can significantly decrease the cost.
Yeah.
Which
I was thinking he'd gather at least some of them, but then also long rest would probably not be possible while doing that.
no.
What did Remy just send? Oh,
Nothing important.
that is not related to what we're talking about. In that case, since it's 10 hours, for the last 2 hours he'll start doing that, but maybe not finish. Probably not finish.
Yeah, no, but
Work on
so
gathering
this means that Remy, you'd probably see Jorg doing something that makes a whole lot of peasant very nervous. He's leaving the inner ring of the town. He's going in the field. He seems to be very comfortable being alone outside of the village's boundary.
He's not alone. He's got the dog.
Yeah.
Whose name I forgot. Frel or something like that. Yeah.
His name is Bow Wow, right?
Bow Wow.
He forgot the name of the dog he named
It is
himself.
Frel.
All right.
He'll stay near the village, just kind of like outside the walls a little ways.
Hey, isn't that Jorg over there? You know, they're beside that large creature.
I wonder if Jordan needs some salt.
You know, it's probably an ingredient in something
Absolutely.
other than food.
And you'd be surprised what goes into healing potion.
A whole child.
No, well, in higher grade healing potion, you'll often find troll's blood.
Ooh.
That's why it tastes awful, but it works. I'm so sorry.
But
Makes sense. They've got that regen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're either their blood or their tears, and I will most certainly dine on the tears of trolls that I've slain.
how many paintballs do you think I could spawn by the time we all meet back together? What is like 4 hours? Because I went and talked to that guy and then did all that salt stealing.
You could probably use all of the charges inside. Did you read?
Oh, yeah,
Did you read
charges.
all of the information?
Wait, what is the name again?
It's the
That was the
head of defacing, I believe. Head of defacing, yeah.
of defacing. Okay. Alrighty. Headed defacing.
Yes, I do give interesting name to my objects because they all have a history.
Okay. So, cause
Depending on what color you want, it's gonna use more charges. That was based on the complexity of how you can manage that color. Yes, I did some research before making it.
Hooray
Okay,
for
okay.
picking
Then I won't.
color theory.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'll only make 10 of the charges,
All right.
and then I will. I'll just be holding them, trying to look for someone that I know. Look for somebody that I know to tell about my day.
So
because-
you have 10 basic color.
Yes, basic colors.
Okay.
Basic colors.
So that's all going to be very interesting. So audience, believe you left before. There was one thing you still wanted to say, but you had something to do with it.
Oh, yes. Just simply that I would be having Magna as it started getting dark and like no one else, because I assume they don't really have a wall guard. I'd be having Magna, scouting around the town to basically tell us if anyone comes near.
All right.
Doing circles.
Yeah, sure. In that case, make a perception roll for Magna.
Yep. That's a D20 plus 5. I'll also do a stealth.
Okay.
That was a 14 for perception and a 16 for stealth.
Okay. So, as the day keeps on going, it's an interesting picture. We have Remy, who simply sits at the center of the town and scaring small children, being the ominous creature that he is. You have Tobiyashi looking for his friends with balls of paint in his hands.
And bouncing my other ball.
And bouncing the other ball. Nothing suspicious about that.
Yeah. There's nothing going on here, guys.
Dong.
See how high I could bounce it? Boing!
Like I said, it loses very little of its momentum every time it bounces. So if you give it a whole lot of energy, it's gonna bounce almost as high as you were when you dropped it, or just is gonna go very high up.
Okay.
Being a monk, you can probably test that out by going on top of the highest building, using a key point, using step of the wind, jumping in the air as high as you can, and throwing it as you're falling back to the ground. And you're just gonna see the ball go. Boom! Oh no! I hope I didn't lose it.
I don't think it's gonna stay down here.
And since you have time to take several short rests, well, you can explore that as much as you want.
Okay. Yep, just looking for someone.
Well, like I said, Remy is easy to find. If you cross the town center, you're gonna find him.
But Remy has cloak. He has the thing that wants to kill me.
Well, that's Onak. Yeah. Yeah, he seems to like the handkerchief of murderous intentions. If you go near the edge of the village, you're gonna see Jorg gathering stuff from the fields. If you go near the temples and the inn and the Lord's Manor, you're most likely are going to find audience talking to people. And if you go to the storage shed, you're going to find Fisher looking at a construct. So...
I think I'm gonna go find audience.
Okay. So at the end of the day, while you're looking for someone, you easily find audience who is currently listening in to what Magna is telling him about what's happening around the village. You sort of catch him probably at a moment where he's just, But
I wait for him to
Dragonborn
finish
style.
real quick. Yeah, I wait for him to finish, seeing that he's busy with something. After that, I walk up to him and go, "Hey, audience, don't we have somewhere we need to be?"
Yes. You weren't here, but I mean, Audi and you weren't here, but you were the one who said you should stay and help the village.
Wait, what? Does that sound like anything?
I don't know. I thought it was a little odd too, Toby. You were.
Well,
What do you mean? Why are we here? You told me to.
I see. I guess I didn't get enough sleep the other day. Well, how much longer are we going to be staying here for?
Just until basically Civ arrives and is able to defend the village. So 10 more. So at most 10 more hours.
Jeez. We can't have someone like go ahead and check for the person we're supposed to be, saving. What if they're dead by the time we get there?
Yeah, apparently she has a broken arm too. We called her. She said she had a broken arm.
I see.
I was a little distraught, but the other members of our party were very clear that we were staying and helping the villagers.
Also, she said it was fine.
Oh, it's
like
fine.
we asked, and she's like, "Okay, we can stay out of the water."
She did a thing where she's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
It's fine.
I can easily imagine. I can easily
hours.
imagine this conversation going on, and then Fisher arriving just as audience tries to push everything on Tobiyashi's lap like this. She said she's fine.
I'm just like, I mean, if you say so.
I don't say so. You do, and the other members.
I was talking to Fisher.
Oh.
You see a halfling that just dropped in the conversation, just looking at all of you. Yeah, they all looked at you, and you nodded.
Oh, I see. Wow, I wonder what I was thinking.
Probably weren't paying attention.
Probably wasn't. I was too. Well, see, I did lose my
Your
pen.
mind was in another place.
I wanted to stay here to try to find it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I found it. I also found this thing of salt.
You got this.
Where did you find the salt, Toby?
I showed the pouch of salt. I'm like, under a rock.
Congratulations.
I'm debating whether audience would roll insight on that. Because he, as someone who has lived in a small village his entire life, knows that salt is not just kept under a rock. It's very valuable.
I'm telling the truth. I found it under a rock, okay?
Wait, you mean to tell me that audience didn't just pick bags of salt from the salt tree?
No,
but
it is found under a rock.
Yeah, well, we'll
it just takes a lot more work to get it.
All right,
I rolled a nat 20 on my insight.
Okay, all right. I'm telling the truth about finding it under a rock. Now, how I found it,
yeah, but
doesn't seem like it would just be there.
So, in short, yeah, absolutely. You look at him, and it feels like he's telling the truth. But he's leaving out something that happened before.
So yeah, if you guys ever need to cook something or anything, I got you.
Audience is just kind of staring at you.
Wait, is yellow a basic color? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, all right. I'll also be like, No, I won't do that yet. I won't do that.
Don't do that yet.
Also, you want to see one of these things I got from the? Well, okay. That first, before this, how'd your day go today? What'd you guys figure out?
I figured out that, about a town of, or that they're going to probably go and pick one of these 3 towns. This one was the most likely. That they were going to encamp in, that there was another group of them that the ones that we attacked us were about 1/3. I think about 1/3 the number of their group. And that it should take them about 20 hours, or what I got from the rogue was that it should take about 20 hours for them to get back, but apparently that information might not be completely accurate, which is why I've been spending all day scouting out defenses in case they are able to get here slightly before that.
I see.
You do see.
Wait, so is Fisher actually there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come back.
You do see a small militia forming itself. It's very small for a town, so you can easily deduce that they either were killed or have lost the will to fight. And those that are there are those that still have the will to fight. It's a very unimpressive
Group of 10?
Maybe 10, 12 people, yeah.
Okay. Alright. What about you, Fisher?
I've been talking to the construct.
I see. That's it? That you've just been talking to him all day? I mean, it all day.
What do you mean that's it?
Well,
What have you been doing all day? You found some salt.
I figured out. Okay, so there's.
I was
this
trying to
wizard girl.
discover another member of my species awakening.
Okay. That's pretty important. What I did all day was, I made these 10 balls. I show them the yellow-colored balls, just 10 yellow balls. So I made those, okay, and
Do they blow
I was
up?
walking around talking to people. Well, if you want to see what they do, I could. Is there anybody like standing with their back facing us?
I'm sure at any point there's probably at least one militia member who's not looking your way.
All right. I look over to Fisher and an audience. I'm like, I go, shh, and I'm like, I'm gonna bless this man. And as his back is facing towards us, I pick up the ball from my hand and I'm going to throw it right in between the middle of the neck and where you can't reach with your hand.
Okay. Make an attack roll. That's very precise.
Let's go. Okay. Wait, what do I attack with? Do I just
It's
bare
dexterity.
hand?
It's throwing something.
So dexterity.
It's the equivalent of a improvised weapon.
All right. So, wow, I rolled a 10.
Well, you were aiming for the center of his back, but just as you're doing this, you throw, and you see the ball going, and there's this moment where you see the ball, and everything seems to be going in slow motion, and you just see him go, I can't, and he turns around just slightly to scratch his back, and you see the ball just go right behind him and keep on going. And just as this happens, you see another person, the person that was standing right in front of him. He takes the ball head first.
As soon as that happens, I look over to them, kind of my back facing the person I just threw it at. I'm looking at audience. I'm like, did it hit him?
The person has a yellow face. All the way to his neck and shoulder.
I look at audience. I'm like, what do I do? No.
Audience is like, I got you. He's gonna shout out, that was a test. You were gonna have to have better reactions. What if that had been a sneak attack?
See, so
Failed. Do better.
Make a deception roll.
I look over to Fisher. I'm like, that's what those do. That's what those do. And I also wait. I'll wait till after audience is done.
14.
Those seem very helpful.
Well, fortunately for you, the person just, when he gets painted like this, he looks extremely upset for a moment and looks at you, audience, obviously being very annoyed by this. But he seems to sort of go, can't say anything about it. I wasn't paying attention. So. And leaving, visibly upset, but also unable to say anything because he wasn't paying attention.
Like, I got you, Toby.
Thank you. I mean, if I would have done it, it would have been something else. But they trust you. Okay. I mean, all right. So
You rolled
as I
a
was saying,
4 to try and see through your deception. So.
other than these balls that I found, I found out that there was a wizard girl training around here somewhere. There's that, and it seems like the town people are not they're not having a good time. You know, they are kind of afraid. They
Big
Toby,
surprise.
can you go back to the Can you go back to the wizard girl? Like, I feel like we glossed.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm here trying to set up defenses for this town. We just glossed over a wizard girl.
So yeah, some guy told me he was saying something about the basket weaver's daughter trying to learn magic. So I think if we need someone who knows magic to protect the town, we could go find her.
Trying to learn or has learned?
Like, what level are we talking?
Thinking about how it was told to me. I think he said something about her learning magic, so probably like 1.5, you know?
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing that if we try and get her help defending the town is going to get her killed faster than other people.
Okay, audience, like, I'm still gonna go talk to her and see, since that's not clear and no one even told me about this, I'm gonna go talk and see what this wizard girl's.
So yeah, so the basket weaver, his house is by the house with the roses.
Okay, audience is gonna kind of walk away annoyed, like, asking all these people on how to defend a town that don't tell me about potential wizard. God damn it.
So Fisher, about that, as he walks away, you just hear in the background, so the construct.
Way to bury the lead there, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, I heard about this wizard girl, and also I found these balls.
I found these balls. Did I tell you about the salt?
Well, it's supposed to be part of the assault, isn't that it?
I think we could use it.
Yeah. All right, so audience, you quickly realize as the sun is slowly setting that there are several houses with flowers, and even after knocking at each one of them, that's not the basket weaver. It takes roughly a perception roll to tell me how long you take to find it.
Just look for the
Long time. It's 4. That's
Oh,
a 4.
dang.
A decent amount of time.
You,
Audience is very frustrated. He's not even looking. He's like walking up to any door with a flower and basically banging on the door. Is there a wizard girl here?
Is there a girl here?
Meanwhile, Raimi, atop his perch, is just very confused by why audience is so angrily just knocking on doors all over the village.
Audience is just pounding. He's like going. He's like. Is there a wizard girl here?
Like woman? No? Okay.
Well, you said she was a girl. Toby, I think this is on you.
Wait, I thought it was a girl, right? You said woman, right? I swear it was a girl.
I'm quoting with what Toby says.
So it takes you a while. The sun is nearly set when finally you arrive in front of a house. You were going to walk right past it, but then you have this moment of... Because you see baskets in front of the house. There's no flower in front of the house.
I said it was by the house with the flowers. I mean, he could figure it out. He found it.
You couldn't have just, like, led him to it.
I can't go back to that house. I mean,
By the way, I want you to picture audience is not in a good mood right now when he's banging on this door. Like, they're gonna see a upset-looking Drakenmemoria.
yeah, smoke coming out of his nose with like little sparks. Just
He's just spent like an hour trying to find a house of a wizard girl that he spent all day trying to set up defenses and no one told him about. And then he is not in a good mood.
Well, of course, when you nearly...
break down the door.
Yeah, when you nearly break down the door of this house, you have a looks like human answering the door, a bit panicked, and what's happening? What's happening? Are we under attack?
No. Is there a wizard girl here? I was told that your daughter... Is it the man? I don't know. Is it the man? Is it the man or a woman who answered the door?
Be a woman. He said woman. He said girl.
Yeah, yes, sort of.
Is there someone who performs magic here?
Oh yeah, one of the daughters.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure she won't be a much help.
She won't be? Okay. Like, what can she do?
She's pretty useful around the kitchen for now.
She's also given a very good fireworks display.
She can she can light up candles and the stove just by snapping her finger. She can spice up foods just by looking at them.
Okay, so this is someone who doesn't even know basic cantrips.
Well, he's describing
That is a basic
prestidigitation.
Okay,
He's literally describing a kitchen.
That's fair. Does she know flame bolt? Okay. Yeah.
She's 13. She's 13. She's just learning.
Okay.
She's adventurer level. What do you mean? I just pop in and out.
Audience is like, I'm 15.
This is the part where audience punches Tobiyashi in the face.
Mhm.
Roll to hit.
Whoa, I never told him to go find her, okay? I just told him about her.
You didn't give me any description. You said there's a wizard girl.
That's what I heard. I mean,
So, audience, after a moment, after he invites you in and you see this 13-year-old girl just helping her mom practicing her magic, you sort of get the feeling that she's sort of level 0.5.
Okay. Audience just looks. Just he's done.
Apprentice.
He's just done. He's like, he gives her a thumbs up. He's like, keep it up. Good job. We're proud of you. And then he just leaves. It's like, thank you for your time.
She blushes a little. She's heard about you.
I don't care.
Oh, shit.
I think this pendant I got is not not helping out that much.
Raimi just sees an even angrier audience leaving that particular house.
Totally seen audience coming back towards him with a not happy look at
I'm sitting by Fisher. I'm like, Fisher, does the audience look mad?
I've never seen him this upset.
I see. Do you think I should? You think I should walk away?
No.
Audience is just gonna walk up to Toby and just be like, "Toby, did you steal that salt?"
What? Why would I steal that salt?
Toby, look at me
That's not
honestly
an
as your
answer.
friend. Did you steal that salt?
As audience is asking you this question, you see right next to his shoulder, behind him, you just see Orunak, who's watching you with his handkerchief of murderous intention, and he's just mimicking with his mouth, "Run." And he smiles.
I'm like, so I took the salt back.
You took the salt back, so was it your salt?
No.
What do you mean
Toby-
you took it back then?
So I assumed he took it from someone by the way he was acting with the salt. Okay, he's being really sketchy. I thought he was gonna end up being like a what are they called? I go to think real quick.
Thief?
An informant for the rogues. But it ended up he just had a pound of salt, and like I was already in the midst of grabbing the salt, and a kid came, so I quickly put it in my pocket, and then I walked off with the salt.
Did you ever think
But he
that
had
that
my
man might have
pendant. I don't know
needed?
how he got my pendant. See,
Did
he
you,
had
did you
it
ever
out of
think that
nowhere.
man might have needed that salt for his family so they could survive the harsh winter?
Well, no, he hid it outside of his house. Why would he? Wouldn't he openly tell his family about salt if he had it for them? No, he was doing
No.
something with the salt. Okay.
You know what, Toby? Just I don't know. I'm done with you. And
Oh,
I'm just
wow.
gonna walk.
I mean, did you find the wizard girl or?
Audience, you want to do some sparring?
Audience, Orunak comes right next to you and he says, "Here, let this answer." And he hands you the handkerchief of murderous intentions.
Audience,
guess
you
she
want to go
wasn't
do some
wizard yet.
sparring?
Yes. Let's go fishing.
I think I'm gonna wait here. I don't want to get hit by him.
You sure, Toby? It might be fun. You should come spar with me.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
You're saying you can't use practice?
Tobiyashi,
I mean,
when
I
you
probably could.
when you say this, I'm fine, I'm gonna stay here. You hear Orunak go, "Yeah, we're gonna have fun together." Looking at you with his handkerchief.
On second note, I think I do want to come, and I'll be right there. Onak, we'll talk later.
Audience,
I follow
as
behind.
soon as Tobiyashi turns around, Orunak gives you a wink. Well, several winks. Like I said, he has more than two eyes.
Oh no. Okay.
All right. Well, Toby, before we spar, it's important to warm up. So we're going to start with a little fitness routine. I'll start putting Toby through one of the soldier fitness routines that my father used to put me through, which consists of a lot of push-ups.
Let's go push it. Okay, I'm kind of sickly.
The also stretching. I don't know if you know this one. Just going like this. My fencing teacher, used to make us go through these long warm-up phase, and you would just go, "All right, hand stretch," and you would make us go like this with our hands and in the air,
Oh, okay.
in front.
So Toby, I might need you to roll me a quick athletics.
In athletics.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to roll me a quick athletics.
It's decent. All right, 15 plus 4, so
Damn.
19.
All right,
Hey.
I'm impressed. Audience, calms down a little bit. I
yeah.
was
I'm
impressed.
still doing push-ups, yeah.
Because I also got a 12 plus 7, so I get 19. So Toby completely keeps up with me, and I'm
Nice.
I'm like, okay. I don't know how Fisher does, but Fisher also doesn't have stamina, so he's probably fine.
Yeah, Fisher's just doing them.
I don't have
Just-
muscles to train like that. I mean, they kind of work like that, but
Yeah, you just
Not,
direct
Alright.
more power to them or something.
The workout
They just keep
somewhat calms down audience. By the time the workout's over, he's okay.
it's
Wait, so we're still gonna spar, right?
Fisher does
It's still small.
isometric exercises during his sentry rest. Holding your arm,
Yeah.
just holding something for 6 hours straight.
Audience no longer looks like he wants to kill you by the end of the workout.
Okay, that's good.
you can't.
I mean, we could still spar. We have hours.
You can't
Possible.
help Tobiyashi. In your mind, there's this moment of, thank God he doesn't know I had a athletic instructor that was a dragonborn.
Yes. That's true.
It felt like you were back in those days of training.
It's like, all right, we gotta keep going.
Don't think about the pain.
Don't think about it. We just gotta push through.
Yeah, you impressed audience. He was impressed. So
That's good.
All right.
I honestly thought I was gonna roll lower.
Oh, that was a pretty good roll. All right, so time passes and aggressivity levels slowly decreases. The sun completely disappears from the sky, and Jorg finally comes back in after having gathered a few interesting ingredients that grows under the freshly cut wheat field and things like that. Also got a few interesting bugs because they live under those. You know that if you mix this,
Nutritious.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna say
it's
can
like-
be interesting potion ingredients, but yeah, they can make for a tasty snack.
Stick the potion ingredient.
It's the middle of the night, right?
Not the middle of the night. It's the beginning of the night. But it's also the beginning of the break. So
Oh, okay.
so you all gather up and you find yourself at the center of the town as the last few rays of sun disappears completely and stars are starting to appear in the sky. And just as this happens, you hear this. You look next to a post where you were all standing, or wall, and you see this arrow with a little message wrapped around it.
Don't look at me. That wasn't me.
what's to say?
How would you shoot it from there?
Nobody cares.
That's why I'm
Read it.
saying-
What
Yeah,
does
let's
it
read
say?
it.
Actually, you sort of get the message, even though there's no word written on it. There is an emblem of a hawk holding hair in its claws. It is not the same emblem as those that you rooted out of the town, but it follows the instruction that he has given you.
Can I real quick? Just like scribble it out over the mark, and then write. We let the rest of them run away the first time. This time, no more mercy will be shown. And then pull out my bow and just yeet it back in that general direction.
We could have put the
Ow!
symbol of the dragon on it.
you just hear a scream from the back.
Oops!
Domed.
Well, I guess we start the attack. Alright, you throw it back out. And there is a moment of silence as you just see the arrow. And this is where we're going to take the break. We're gonna know what happens when you come back from the break. So, if you need to go to the bathroom, this is the perfect moment. If you'd like to subscribe or follow us also during the break, that's also a good idea. I like it, love it. I'd love to do this for a long while. I know that I take a whole lot of time to explain things, and the campaign is probably moving at half the speed it should, but I still would very much like to do this for a long time, so take a moment to support us. And we'll be back in exactly 15 minutes. Yeah, that's going to be easy enough to figure out. All right, see you back in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello! Hope it's been going well. We've been talking about multi-classing Tobiyashi, you know. Because we all feel like his name should be even bigger, so we can't read it. We can all just read the different multi-class. He's gonna be a monk, fighter, rogue, priest,
Druid.
Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
It's gonna be special.
Yep. It is.
All right, so let's get back in. Let's see. Stop the music. Oh, good lord. That's a nasty night. All right, well. In case you missed what has happening, well... Oh, and I got bits again. Yeah.
Woo!
So,
Thanks.
Wince.
So, to quickly recap, the group got ready for battle. End of recap. So, you've just answered the provocation of the enemy by sending a counter message. As you see this arrow just disappearing in the distance, you see one torchlight coming into view, just lights up, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and 5 other arrows just arrive. Special delivery of the wind. Just hear. And when you open them up and look, one is a wolf that has a sheep in its mouth. Another one is a weasel holding a mouse. Another one is an eagle holding a turtle, letting it fall from the skies. 5 groups in total have just made themselves known of you.
Audience is gonna write animal cruelty is wrong. I know.
like, I have some paintballs we could write with.
Did they all seem to come from the same direction or different directions?
I'd say somewhere in between. They all came from the same side of the village, but not all at the exact same point.
You know what? Audience will do this. I don't think it's gonna work, but audience is gonna write, "Do you want to have a drinking contest?" And shoot it back.
Do the villagers seem to understand that shit's about to go down and they should take cover if they aren't fighting?
Well, because the sun has set, most of the villagers are not there. And so only those that are present, mostly the militia, see the arrows coming in. But where you can feel this uneasiness just spreading into the village, into the town, it's when the torches starts lighting up. And there's quite a lot of them. When the 5 new arrows came, and audience through his drinking provocation, you see dots of light appearing in a 180 degrees arc in front of you. There are easily 30 to 50 points of light, all standing at least 1,000 feet.
I think they want to have the drinking contest.
I mean, I'm waiting for an answer. I sent my message. Are we
Guys,
having a
stop messing around.
conversation?
Everybody's gonna die.
Well, shouldn't we tell one of the militiamen to tell like the whole town? Right
Yeah.
now. You do that. I'm waiting to see if they want to get down.
Hey, you over there with the yellow face.
Audience is not that
I'll
confident.
snag one of the militiamen and go circle up all the villagers and tell them to hide.
I'd say tell them to retreat. We might have
Should
to
they go to the
this town.
tavern?
I don't think we can beat 50 people.
We have like 10 hours left.
Well,
I mean, we do have-
a few more hours went by since I said that, so it's more like 7.5 hours, 8 hours right now.
So are we retreating now?
I'm saying that we should probably tell them that they might need to run and not go hide, because I don't think that we can hold off 50 members by ourselves. I'm going to be honest. We have, especially with no defensible location, they don't even have like a boarded in.
Didn't you say there was that
we should have
place they
thought
could
about
run
this
in an emergency?
during the last 10 hours then, I guess, instead of everybody dicking around. Because we can't run now. They're here.
I mean, audience.
Well, my cat's at the back, and she hasn't said anyone's back there. So there is literally a way out of the village.
All right, we're gonna group
Yeah,
up
but-
everyone that we can and leave. It's that easy.
So tell them to
Yeah,
start
and then
getting
we
ready
chase-
to leave, and I will keep distracting them with proposals of drinking contests that they might accept or not.
God damn it.
Okay.
You got audience just sitting at the front of the
terrain
village.
like around the town?
Sitting at the front of the town, looking toward them all, waiting for his answer. I want a drinking contest. Come on. Bring on the beer.
What's the terrain like around the town?
It's pretty flat. A few hills, but it doesn't go higher than rolling hills. Maybe an hour and a half away, there is a stream that leads to the large lake, the northern section of the island, but that's about it.
Wait, shouldn't we tell your friend to leave too? Like your family friend? Your what do you call your guys' selves?
What?
What family? The construct?
Yes. The construct, that's what I'm meaning. I'm asking Fisher this.
I
I know they're not family. It's just
If the village is leaving, it will leave with them.
Okay. Well, let's go.
All right. So the militia does its best to try and go from house to house, warning everyone that the town might need to be evacuated. It takes maybe half an hour, and the audience is still waiting for his answer for a drinking contest.
I tell Magna to keep an eye on the back and make sure that they're not like circling around and cutting off our escape, or to let me know if they are.
Okay.
Basically, stay at the back of the village.
And they're not advancing?
Oh, right now they're not advancing, but every 10 minutes you can swear you see 2 or 3 new dots of light appearing.
Jesus.
There's some of them still trickling in.
We have
After,
one last
yeah.
clay brick, right?
Yep.
Mm.
We
Get
do
it
have
out
one
of the-
last.
Is it in storage?
Yes, it's in storage. Do you
Get
want
it
me to
out of
get it out?
storage. Yeah.
All right, I will take the clay brick out of storage.
We go in there, it's just all destroyed.
Yeah. It went off at some point.
Someone
Anything
left.
else
Someone left
in the
something blue in
storage?
there.
that should be pulled out before shit goes down?
I got everything I need.
I
I'll
think I've
put
got
the pound of
everything I
salt
need.
in there.
Oh, you do still have the pound of salt.
I do still have a pound of salt. I put it.
The game changer. A pound of salt.
I can't.
Yeah, you never
That's
know.
what we have.
Never know when a pound of salt will be the.
Audience sends out another message. We have a pound of salt. We're willing to trade.
You hear them all start screaming and they all leave. Pound
They're
of
all
salt!
Sorry.
It's like the Dexter's Lab cartoon when he gets brainwashed and all he can say is omelette du fromage, which doesn't even translate well in French. That's not how it's supposed to sound. I know. But everyone keeps being impressed because he keeps repeating that. Okay. So, like I said, it takes about 30 minutes. And audience, make a perception roll for Magna as she is changing from general surveillance to very specific surveillance.
Okay.
In it,
14.
14. All right.
Hey guys, strange idea, but should we give up?
That's kind of what we're doing, aren't we?
Yeah, we're retreating. I don't think we can beat 70 unless we can somehow get a bomb into the
Unless you
middle of them.
Do you mean abandon the townspeople? Because we could do that too.
No, we
But,
can't.
yeah. But okay, imagine. Where did they come from? What if that woman was in the path of where they were coming from, and they just have her now?
What woman?
The woman we're here for, that we're supposed to be saving.
She's in a different town.
Yeah,
Toby-
not that town.
Toby-
Not this
Toby,
town.
I'd
I
be-
mean, like, what if they came from where that town was?
Toby, I'd be more worried about our current situation than them potentially having one person from another town. Keep your mind on the task at hand.
Yeah.
Wait,
Toby.
okay, never mind.
Stay
There's an
focused.
army
Stay
outside.
focused.
Focus up, May, man.
We wouldn't even be in front of this army if we just kept going.
You
Now it's
told
not-
us to stay.
Fisher told me to tell you. No.
Was there a
What about this did none of you understand when we agreed to it?
You know
We
what?
had all the information we currently have. I asked, and you guys said, okay, we'll stay.
Ah,
Exactly.
Papa.
If only there was somebody in the party with the ability to create a difficult ability of masses of people from moving closer.
Mhm.
They both.
If only.
It's not a huge area, but it's pretty good.
So, like I was saying, after half an hour, the villagers are starting to gather up, and then suddenly there's one militiaman who arrives a bit out of breath, and he goes straight for you, audience, and the other dragonborn heading the militia. And he just goes, they were in town. They left us a message. It's already been open, and he just shows it to you. The message reads, if you want them back, hand us the machine and compensate us for your loss, for our loss. Or we will make sure you never forget it.
if you want who back. Who's
He
gone?
rolls back the scrolls and says,
The mayor?
Mayor's dead. It's the kids.
Yeah, there are 5 kids missing.
Damn. Is the basket's daughter one of them?
No.
I was gonna be saying she'll learn some sorcery.
I saw something in her future, but I didn't think it was death.
Alright, so here's the plan, guys. I'll turn to them. We trade them the bomb and then blow it up once they've returned the kids.
Why would they take the bomb?
How
But as
would
soon as
we?
you don't see the construct, they're gonna
Because
murder.
we tell them it's a powerful weapon.
Oh,
And
I have
when
an
they
idea.
ask how to use it,
Guys,
we demonstrate.
We
and
damn it.
then we don't have it anymore.
wait. I have an idea, guys. All right. Okay. So they want us to bring the construct. Do we still have our cart with us?
It's
Yeah.
It's
the
alive.
town, yeah.
Okay. So we don't bring the construct. All right. We disguise Fisher as the construct. Okay. I know he doesn't look anything like it, but we put him inside the cart. We cover him up. Okay. He has the bomb on him. We drive right into the middle of them, and Fisher tries
Blow
to
me up.
No, don't blow you up. No. Well, Fisher tries to destroy the bomb without getting blown up. Mission
How?
solved.
The bomb is a very wide radius. That's the whole point of it, is it would take out the army.
So, question.
I mean, we do have a diamond. We can always res it.
We could revive it. But how do you feel about dying, Fisher?
I would prefer it not happen.
Well, you'd have your
That
confirmation
sounds like
you,
there are,
you'd have your confirmation that
many-
you have a soul.
yeah.
Can't be brought back if you don't have a soul.
Also, to be fair, this isn't like a true, like, if he gets blown up, you can't revivify him.
I would
Yeah.
need a corpse.
I don't
Oh.
think. I don't
Also,
think
that's
the
not
quality
the
of
only
that
problem
way.
with that plan.
What, we lose our cart?
Not.
And,
Toby-
and the horse, he's been loyal to you for quite a while.
The horse. We got an army in front of us.
Okay. Let's think seriously. Is there any way we can actually think to beat this, or are we gonna have to do what they command?
I'm gonna go talk to the construct.
I mean, we could send one of these militiamen out there.
For what, Toby? What are we sending the militiamen out there for?
I'm sorry, someone take this pendant from me, please.
What is the pendant? Is this a curse? Does this pendant make you evil? What is the pendant?
Makes
I
him
don't know,
an
I can't
idiot.
find it.
Okay.
If Jorg and Remy
Um,
would like to say something, you're all at the same place, roughly. You've all been preparing, so you can all pitch in.
Yeah.
I am currently going to go talk to the construct.
You got an idea, Remy?
Did the townsfolk say they had like a panic place where they went and hid? Or was that not something that they said? Like caves or something that they'd retreat
They haven't.
to?
Retreated yet, have they? They just, the militia were going around telling people
Yeah.
to get ready to.
Yeah. So
And
that's
we
where
found
we're
out
going,
kids
right?
were missing.
We gotta worry about the kids, too.
We should still get them into there without the kids.
Blowing up.
I don't
Yeah.
think they had a panic place. I think, remember
No.
guys when we came to the town and there were just a bunch of villagers being tortured?
Yeah, that's why I was confused because they didn't escape to the
That's
panic
why-
place.
Yeah.
Surrender isn't
Yeah,
a
we could-
great option.
Yeah.
These people don't seem great in surrender.
No, they just kind of stick around and kill everyone for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they're holding
Um,
5 kid hostage. So
Yeah.
if they're willing to take kids as hostages, As you're moving away, Fisher, to go talk to the construct,
sure there's a lot of them?
you can hear Terranad just ask you, well, isn't there a way we could maybe buy some time? I mean, we have someone coming in 7 hours.
I think that's what we're trying to spitball for.
Yeah. I could
Just
use
ways to
pass
buy
without
time.
trace, and we'll all clump up and do stealth checks to hide.
Okay, Jork.
And run away?
Also, Civ
Yeah.
is good. I don't know if he's that good, but
I mean, that's easy. I can just say, can you give us the night to gather enough of our resources to compensate you?
Well, you can't hear what Terranad
yeah.
says. Fisher has to say something.
Oh.
I'm off. I'm going to get the construct and bring him back
Well,
That being said, we could.
to where everybody is.
Okay, well, not even off of what Fisher said.
Yeah.
Audience would probably
Like,
say
we're already
something like that
thinking
off
that.
of just trying to stall. Because he's trying to think
Yeah.
of option ways they could stall. So I guess I wouldn't have said it like that. I would have more said,
That's what the
thinking
drinking
of-
game was.
yeah, thinking of ways of how to stall. We can also try and pretend to agree to their quest and say we need a night or so of, while we let the villagers escape of trying to gather resources from the town to compensate them for their dead.
Just quick question.
Yes.
Based off of where we can see the torchlights.
Yeah.
Approximately what distance are they?
About 1,000 feet.
And
And it's night.
1,000 feet night. And just as a reminder, this is generally a fairly flat terrain, correct?
Yeah.
With like
Hills,
maybe grasslands.
Rolling hills at most.
Mhm.
I mean, here's a crazy idea. Why don't you call upon that dragon you're always talking about, audience? Jeez, when is he ever going to show up?
Toby, do you want to die? You're really...
People, we're
I'm
about to
looking
get
forward to
the
that.
punch scene from Avengers.
Bonnie's just gonna look at Toby and be like, Toby, if you're not gonna go be helpful, go sit to the side. Go sit and think about your choices.
I go over to the side. I start flipping the coin. Just heads every time. One
Alright.
time it's like the emblem of the dragon, and then it's just heads, heads, heads.
Then you try it.
All right.
Ham sandwich. It's a ham sandwich.
You hungry?
So
Right? Well,
I
Let me
think
trick.
Remy? Yes?
I guess while all of this deliberating is going on, Raimi is going to summon
Okay.
and he's going to give the sense of find children, careful,
Okay.
with basically the intention of them possibly being able to locate the children. And since they've so generously given torches, either it's a trick or that's exactly where they are. So
Okay. I'll let you make a stealth roll with advantage because it's small and it's night.
probably I have not had to pull up their stat block in a hot second.
It's been a while since you used him. I thought you forgot about him.
In the meantime,
I know.
audience
Yes.
is describing a note of like the initial note of maybe this will work always. Of can we have some time to think about your offer? See how long that can buy us. They'll shoot that out towards the torches.
Okay.
That gives them a 21.
21. All right. So you send out the message, and a few minutes later, you get a reply. How many survivors do you want?
Audience would send out all of them, preferably.
I don't say preferably.
All of
Say
them.
All of them. You got to be stronger-handed here, my man.
All of them. I can't leave
We
the
could
wiggle
settle
there.
for a few dead kids, but we'd rather have all of them alive.
All of them.
We don't need all of them. What do you mean?
All of them.
All right.
I'm hoping that these arrows take. Audience is gonna make sure a little extra heights on the arrow. You know, any couple seconds are good. You know, get a little loft on it. Maybe try and put it in a bush. It's a little harder to find.
Aim for one of the torch. Sorry, didn't mean it.
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't want them to attack. Like, see if maybe there's a bush out there.
Okay. I remember there's a lone tree over there. I'm gonna throw it at the top of the tree.
Get a few more minutes at it.
Alright, so there's a lot of things happening. First, with this back and forth message, audience, you get an answer from Magna saying, "Don't leave from behind. Just got an arrow. They're waiting there. They just don't have any torches."
Yeah, that was somewhat predictable, unfortunately. So can I do?
So one of the militiamen to tell everybody don't leave out the back.
Yeah,
The town
well,
is
no, I'm
surrounded?
just thinking we're kind of stuck here.
How do we always get ourselves in this situation?
Make sure that is known.
Yeah,
to
all right.
people.
I will go tell the listener that they've gotten in the back. Also,
See
tell
what
Magna,
happens when you help people.
I'll tell Magna to come back.
Toby's the
I'll tell Magna
worst.
to come back to town. I'll tell Magna to come back to town.
Okay.
He's thinking this.
Come back here.
Alright.
Now they know that she's out there.
So as Tobiyashi is saying this out loud, you don't know why, but suddenly you see Arunak walking in front of you with his handkerchief of murderous intention. It feels like Fisher sent you a thought.
It's just Fisher on the other side of the handkerchief.
It's Fisher,
Remy,
it's com-
after a few moments, you do get a feeling from your cat saying that he found something, not the prisoners, but he's reached the enemy line. How far can he be at max to?
Essentially what they would have to do is, like, once they got there and looked around, they would have to come back to about within 100 feet of me
100
to get the information. But since we are dealing with fields and rolling hills, I think in the end, Rainey would, like, basically use his natural complexion to also stealth around, but just like basically using his familiar as like a set of eyes closer.
Okay, make a stealth roll to yourself.
Yeah, I'll make my own stealth. Could I also have advantage since I don't even have my purple coat right now?
Well, no, but they have disadvantage on finding you because you're at night.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, I don't even know what I was worried about. That's
Yeah.
the 22.
There you go.
All right, so you sort of have this moment also of feeling a little bit uneasy as you're arriving, and you know you're 100 feet away from their line. If they see you, there's a yeah, exactly like we just heard. If they see you, it's gonna be a wild run to go back to safety. But as you are in range of your familiar, you do, like I said, hear him say that he's reached the line. He can't find any of the hostages, but he can relay to you that the enemy is spread out more than they let on. Some people are holding 2 torches, but there are 7 banners.
Okay.
Banners.
So they're
never
not
along
as
that.
many as you thought there were, but there's still more than you'd like there to be.
Mhm. Honestly, this is one of the other reasons why I hadn't sent like that. I was like, let's see how accurate all of these torches are.
Yeah, I was thinking they'd be bluffing a little bit.
I mean, also, if some of them are holding 2 torches, but a lot of them also aren't holding torches. That's not, like, far off.
Ah,
Well, no,
There's
I
7
mean, the idea
banners.
would be that like even if, because there is like a sort of like a military tactic of presenting a larger front, like a literal larger front, to make yourself seem as imposing as possible, even if because that doesn't necessarily mean that they're holding torches. There could also just be lit torches.
Yeah.
Basically, in a few words, the line is not thick, but it is wide.
Mhm.
what do they want
Well,
out of us?
They want the construct back.
They want the contract,
Oh,
and
right.
they want
They want
compensation.
reimbursement.
For,
And, like,
I
what-
guess, the ones we killed.
Yeah.
We could tragically blow up the construct.
Audience, everyone, what are we even
Good thing I'm
supposed
not
to
here.
do? Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing for us to do here other than to give them what they want and then probably try to go back for them. But I know Fisher's not going to want to do that.
I mean,
Since
there's
he's
to
been,
stall. The whole
yeah,
plan
to
is-
start, we could do that.
Yeah,
But
we've
Sev-
got the
Sev's
garden
very-
coming. They can
Seven's
go rescue
very
the...
strong.
it's 7 hours away. Can we fight for 7 hours?
No, but we can try and create
How
a
many hours
situation
is it
for
away?
Kill
them.
a kid every hour?
I don't know. He said it was like 4 hours, so I think it's like more like 6 or 5. I don't think it's 7.
Right now, since everything's been happening and recon and message going back and forth, yeah, probably around 6 hours. And now we go to Fisher, who is going to talk to the construct.
I mean, talk to. I find it. Go,
Give a response.
come with me, and then head back to the party.
Okay. Then
Yeah, you come back to us talking like that.
In the meantime, audience is going to be like, George, I wouldn't bring up that blow up the construct idea with the construct and Fisher get back. That might be I wouldn't bring that up. I don't think he's going to take that very well.
Fisher,
No.
you arrive just as audience says he's not gonna take that well.
I'm not trying to be negative here, okay? But
Toby,
know
if
what,
something
I'm just-
dumb comes out of your mouth.
there's nothing for us to do. What else are we supposed to do, huh, Fisher? What
He's
are
not
we
You're not
sitting
being
in-
helpful.
Yeah, also.
fighting everyone one-handedly?
No,
Like,
Like, we gotta
offense.
know when to
if
give
you
up.
don't have
no
a
offense.
good idea.
I came up with an idea. Who else is coming up with an idea?
We're
Like-
working on things.
But, like,
I'm still waiting for my response from them.
I turned to
All
the
of them.
So for the drinking,
I
I'm
turn
gonna
to
go
the
over here, okay?
construct.
You guys obviously don't want to give up. There's nothing for us to do.
You want to leave, Toby? Leave.
I think
So,
like what
Um,
what are they gonna do
Toby-
after we if we give up the construct? What are they gonna do? And then
Probably the same
compensate.
thing.
Well, but if we're still here, they're not gonna just risk losing some members just to torment some random villagers, probably.
if they think they can beat us, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we give them everything they want without making it at least seem like it's a discussion for us, they'll definitely like people like this, as we saw, when they prey on those who are weak and they're scared of those who are strong. If we show weakness, they're gonna have no problem just trying to kill us all anyway. Right now, they're probably only hesitant because they know we killed a lot of their members. If we immediately just give them everything they want, they're gonna have no problem just coming and taking the town again, along with us with it. They already have us surrounded. We have no escape.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to the construct.
Yes.
And I'm going to go. Or, yeah, just you in there.
He turns toward. His head turns toward you.
Yeah. Well, as it stands, all your people are screwed. The bandits that controlled you earlier are back with more. And they've taken some of the children of the town hostage. And in order to get them to return the kids, they want us to deliver you and whatever compensation. That was kind of vague, but for the bandits we killed.
There's a few things that happens when you say this. First, the more you talk, the more you see you would call it a nervous reaction in the arm cannon, the cannon arm that he has. You notice there's a slight shake in it, but his voice stays calm. And after you explain everything like this, he just looks at you and... I do not understand your request. Is there something you need me to do?
I need you to wake up, but it doesn't sound like you're going to be able to do that.
I don't understand your request. Could you elaborate?
Well, if we give you back to the bandits, request would be if they try and immediately turn you back on the townspeople again, don't.
I can only obey an order given. Whether I want to or not. It only lasts a few moments, but it feels like that answer was a bit more awakened than the others. Then he goes back to his cold and limited answers.
You could tell him, I turned to Fisher, and like, maybe you could tell him just don't obey any orders. Would that work?
No, because the command word they know, that we also know, is the override of
What
previous
about
commands.
the order? What about the order of do what you want to do?
I mean, I could try, but
I don't know. I'm spitballing here. I don't. I'm still just waiting to hear back from them after my message.
Damn it.
It takes a few moments, but you see someone walking toward the village, the eastern entrance to the village, the town.
Ah, finally, a negotiator. All right, guys, I'm gonna go negotiate. If anyone wants to come negotiate with me, be my guests.
I'll come
I'm
with
gonna-
you.
I'm gonna negotiate.
I raised my
Actually,
hand.
Toby, you don't get to negotiate. You're staying here.
I'm the best negotiator.
You stay there.
Toby, I'm a little worried right now that you would literally be like, I give up if I brought you over there. Please don't kill me.
Well, I mean, I can't give up if we don't have the construct with us.
Toby, I also don't want to show all of our force. I don't want them to know exactly how many we have.
All right. I'll stay here. What do I do while I'm here? Just sit here?
It's up to you.
I go over to where the group of people are.
All right. Well,
Not them. The townspeople.
well, a lot of them are gathering.
Toby switches sides.
Are gathering at the temple and near the Lord's Manor. No one wants to be that close to the front line, so they all seem to be trying to avoid the inn, but it's getting pretty crowded.
All right. Well, since we're kind of screwed, and we know we're kind of screwed, I'm going to the townspeople. I'm gonna say, hello, everybody. Can you guys listen up? Everybody over here.
God.
Oh no.
Wait. Everybody, okay. So, something's going down. We're not going to be able to get through from the back way, as you guys have already heard. Okay. I'm going to need you guys to stay calm, and everyone is going to have to get somewhere where they could hide. Because if they do attack, this is going to be our only option. I need you guys to orderly, don't panic, go into the manor, the tavern, and the Lord's house, right? Yeah, and hide at least. Get as far as you can. If you guys can find weapons in there, just in case they do break down the house, you're gonna have to defend yourselves. There's not much else I could tell you.
All right, do a persuasion roll with disadvantage because they're panicked and you didn't tell them what they wanted to hear.
That's obvious. So it's persuasion, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With disadvantage.
Oh my gosh, I have a +0 anyways. So. Okay, so the first one's a 15. Oh my god, come on. Oh, the second one's a 14. Let's go.
Well, at least it's
So I got a
roughly the
14.
same.
Take a 14.
All right. Well. Oh wow. Okay. Fortunately for you, there are a few vocal townspeople that helps you keep everyone from just running in different directions. They're managing to keep people walking in a straight line, but you already feel like there's a severe amount of tension as inevitably those people who are trying to keep order need to choose who goes to the Lord's Manor, who goes to the temple, and who goes to the inn.
Right.
And immediately you start seeing some descent in the ranks as the wealthiest are sent to the Lord's Manor and the temple, and those that...
No. Okay. Wait a minute here. I'm going to the guards. I'm gonna say...
That's what you said.
No, I didn't say for the richest to go there. I said for
You said
everyone
for
to go
people
there.
to split up and go different
That is
places.
true.
Like,
All right.
What did you
Okay,
think
okay,
was
okay.
gonna happen? They were in one defensible location, and you're like split up.
Well, they need to hide at least. All right. So what I'm gonna tell them, I'll get in front of everybody again. I'm going to explain. All right, everyone. This positioning that I want you guys to get into is what's the most defensible position? Is it the temple?
It's
Or would it be
it's
the
arguably either the Lord's Manor or the temple. The temple has thicker walls, but the Lord's Manor is made in a way that would be able to withstand an onslaught of people for longer.
All right. I gather up the guards. I'm going to tell them before I talk to everybody else. All right. So this is how I want you guys to split these up. I know it's going to be kind of bad, but I need you guys to take the women and children into the temple and the manor first. Gather up all the men, no matter how rich they are, and put them into the tavern. I know it's the most undefensible position, but they're the ones who could defend themselves the most. I just see that this is the fairest way to do it.
Shouldn't we keep the ones that can defend the others together?
Well, no,
Like-
I'm saying
Like
after
you're just
that,
putting all the people that can't
No.
defend themselves in one
after
spot, and
that,
everyone that can.
the military, the militia are gonna go with the women and children
Why not just put them all in the same spot?
because there's 3 different places I have to divide them up in.
All right.
Why?
So my question is: does Jorg and Tobiashi argue in front of everyone, or is it something
I'm
that?
I
with-
mean, if
I'm with-
Jorg comes out of nowhere and starts arguing
No.
with me, this is
I'm with
he's with the audience.
audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So audience and Jorg are negotiating. So.
Yes.
Raimi is there too.
Okay.
I feel like, for whatever reason, I feel like he needs to be there.
Okay.
With which group?
Me.
Okay.
Right? Or with the audience. Remy.
Raimi went with audience to,
That's-
Okay.
negotiate with the individual.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was audience.
That's what I thought, yeah.
There's always a major weight there. Wherever audience go, there's a high chance Remy will follow. All right, so make a persuasion roll, but again with disadvantage because now you're going against.
Not even the help with the guards?
You're
Sheesh.
going against those that have the most charisma.
Come on. Okay, first one's a 16. Oof. The
You don't
second
want to open
one
your eyes.
is a natural one.
Natural one. All right. So it all you try and give orders, and you realize after a good try that it's all falling apart. Unfortunately, the order of things ends up having those who have the means and the voice and the strength to give themselves a better advantage, find themselves at the highest location, the Lord's Manor. And you have the wealthiest and the children of the wealthiest going there first. The men do seem to be staying out as if to protect the buildings, but the temple is where many of the women go, and unfortunately many of those who do not have influence, money, or standing find themselves having to go to the inn. and their defenses is mostly the militia. A handful of people.
The militia listen, right?
The militia is doing its best to keep order. 1 guard stays for the temple, 2 guards stays for the Lord's manor, and the 7 others go to where the inn is.
How close are these buildings to each other?
At least a good 5, maybe 10 minutes walk. They're not in a straight line. You have to take it long.
Okay.
So while you're thinking about this,
Yeah,
Jorg,
Toby's just
audience,
thinking.
and Remy, unaware of the situation slowly deteriorating inside the village, inside the town, you go to this person moving forward. And roughly 100, maybe 150 feet away from you, the person stops and he raises one hand and slowly takes account of all of you. Before you have unpleasant thoughts about this, he bends over and he pushes his hand through the ground, showing you that this is an illusion. Now,
Okay.
you wanted to talk.
Yes. I believe that you were trying to negotiate the lives of the hostages for the constructs and fair compensation. However, fair compensation is quite a vague term, so I would like to hear more what you clearly think fair compensation would be.
To be clear, you're negotiating. We're giving you a chance to get out of this with few casualties.
But isn't lives just a negotiation in themselves? I believe we are all negotiating here. Simply, in negotiations, there are people. And by the way, I'm trying to stall for as much time as I
I
have.
know!
Right? I'm like going up. Audience is doing this purposely, trying to like a philosophical discussion here. So, you know, in negotiation, there are simply people of indifferent power, and while you may, in fact, have more power here, although you do not have all of our information, we do not have yours. I'm simply trying to come to agreement in our negotiation from different powers of what can work best, so both parties end up happy.
Gotta get all those words in on that essay.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
So while this is happening,
Training your
just
whole
so-
life for this moment.
just so I can get a good sense, because yeah, it is illusory,
Yes.
but I'm kind of wanting to know if this is a particular brand of magic that Raimi would recognize, including its limitations.
Make an Arcana roll. It
Because
is
essentially, it's unusual for an illusion spell like this to also be capable of communication.
It is part of your repertoire, so you can make a Arcana roll.
That is going to turn it around. All right, that's going to be a soft 20.
Alright. You're not 100% sure, but you're mostly sure that this is probably something like a major image spell. Meaning that the person casting it is most likely somewhere 120 feet away at most. You would get a confirmation if you can force audience to stretch the conversation for more than 10 minutes. The
Audience is
spell
working
would
on
need
that.
to be recast.
He's going for it.
It definitely does look like he's trying.
So, Remy, you're evaluating this. Jorg, you're there too if you want to do something. You get the feeling that audience doesn't talk all that much usually, but now he seems to be doing his best to emulate the gnomes at the garden when he explains what's happening.
I think audience seems to be doing a good enough job.
Well, you can add something if you want. You can try and... I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you're right next to him and you think it's a bit obvious since you know audience that he's doing his best to say very little with a lot of words. Nothing?
Gee. No, not that I can.
All right. I'm just giving you the chance.
Borg isn't a talker.
No, I'm confused right now. I don't want to say something that'll jeopardize what we're doing.
That's all right.
Our plans.
I'm just giving you a
Yeah.
chance to do something if you want to do something.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, nothing that I can think of right now.
Stand there
Yeah.
looking intimidating.
Uh-huh.
Tries to look imposing.
Yeah. Maybe I should have summoned some wolves before this.
Or ask.
I would
Pump
save
up our
your sp-
numbers.
I would save
Regular
your
ones,
spell.
so I can have like 8 of them.
I'd wait.
Or ask
I would
for
save your
Ogunak's
spell slots for a
handkerchief.
little bit.
So, audience, how can this? I'd like you to make a performance because basically you're trying to
That's a
stretch
fair
out
one,
the
yeah.
conversation as long as you can.
I'll cast guidance on him too
Okay.
by helping interpret with my hand motions.
Yeah, sure. You half stand behind
Or
him and
confused with your hand motions.
Oh.
That's gonna be a 23.
oh,
Nice.
There we go.
All right. Well, you sort of have this inspiration of words that you remember gnomes using, and their desire to always explain things in so many different ways. And it does force the conversation to stretch quite a little. And Remy, you have your confirmation that this is a spell because there is a moment, it's subtle. The person doing this is practiced, but you do see a flicker of the image and it restabilizes.
Although, in that exact moment, because at least mechanically you have to break stealth to cast a spell, could Remy see maybe or hear approximately where they are located?
Make a perception roll.
Roll high, Remy.
Oh,
Come on, I believe in you, die roll. Hold on. God damn it. My eyes have not been treating me well this.
That's all right.
What's
And
what's
it's
the
getting
range of
late.
the-
Also.
illusion spell.
That's going to be only a 21.
21.
Only a 21.
You're paying so much attention and it gives you a bit of information when the spell ends and it restarts. But it's not the information that you would have hoped for. You don't hear anything, and you know that there's a vocal component to this. you do know of one class that has the ability to cast stealthily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jorg would know this. Actually, maybe he wouldn't. But would detect magic detect the caster of an illusion, or the fact that the illusion is an illusion?
It would
And just
allow
tell
you.
me that.
It would allow you to detect the illusion,
Okay,
but not the
not
caster, because the caster is too far away.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Well, that, and even if they were close enough, it still wouldn't detect the fact that they're casting a spell. At best, it would tell you if they have any magic items on their person.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
also.
That does remind me, though, that audience does have a thing which should actually make sure that they're not trying to ambush them as they're doing these negotiations.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Which I'm going to use my divine sense to see if there's, at least I can sense anything evil within 60 feet of me, just to make sure they're not attacking, like not setting up a sneak attack on us.
Okay. You don't detect anything evil or undead or anything like that within 60 feet.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to assume that, not that they necessarily be evil, but there's, because I mean,
Yeah.
there are rogues, but I'm going to at least gain some small confirmation that they're not trying to at least like sneak attack us right now while we're negotiating
All
for
right.
the moment.
So you do your best to push and stretch this conversation. Remy, you'd have time to come back to audience if there's something you want to tell him. But if not, I'm just going to keep on talking.
Actually, remind me how far away this person is.
At most 100. He's 100 feet
No,
away.
I mean, like, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that wasn't particularly clear. At least how far they appear to be.
Yeah. The illusion is 100 feet in front of audience.
Mm-hmm.
And the spell range puts the caster somewhere within 120 feet of the illusion.
She could be quite far.
There's really no simple way of relaying this except so I guess Raimi would basically try his best to whisper to Jorgen audience and he would say, "The fire burns from within, not without."
Yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
audience is going to get that.
That's
think
why I
I
also
get it.
said it to Jorg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to roll intelligence on that one.
Insight.
So,
I'll roll insight just to make
Look,
sure.
I
it's
just can't
22.
imagine a situation where Raimi would be in a conversation about this particular.
Yeah.
That means
As it turns out,
the
disabilities make things hard to do.
audience got a 19.
19. Well, he should be able to get a good idea of what you're trying to say.
are you
What
saying
I'm trying to say.
that the caster is within our midst?
No,
Oh.
no. The fire burns from within, not without. Is essentially saying that the magic being used is innate to the person rather than learned.
Oh,
Okay, audience for some reason understands that.
yeah. Jorg does too. He probably hears
Well,
that kind of thing a lot
It's
more.
it's sort of you. Remy says this, and you remember, because it's temptress. You remember talking about the fire within, because she is a master of the fire element, and it's sort of, Oh, that's why it dawns on you. Yeah, this moment. Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So what does the guy say in return to all
Well,
my?
it takes a little while, and you actually are able to force him to recast once before he starts suspecting that you're intentionally drawing out this negotiation. And but when you realize this, which happened just before the second casting, he raises his hand and your choice is simple. Give us the machine, give us a compensation, and we'll let some of you escape alive.
Some isn't good enough.
Let's just
All
say
right.
that you have two choices. You lose most of the people, or we allow you to leave with one person for every child that you surrender.
What?
What the fuck?
You
Okay.
have you have until the first light of day to comply.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you.
Oh.
That was
That's-
helpful.
yeah,
We
we
will.
Raimi will
Audience
specifically
is like,
say-
haha, got him.
Raimi will-
All right. Well, you've given us a lot to think about.
You say this, and just as he's about to take a step back, there's nothing to think about. And the
So,
illusion
Raimi
just...
was like, oh,
It ends. Sorry. It was the last few moments of the spell.
Audience goes, well, he gave us what we wanted without us having to ask for it. So
Yeah.
that's something. So what we should probably do is start getting a compensation in the machine together and really hope that Civ gets here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the people are gonna give their kids though.
And then
That's
hope if Civ can get here an hour or two before, I'm pretty sure Civ could rescue the hostages, and then we could actually fight them. I have some faith that Civ can rescue the hostages.
Well,
Yeah.
the fight was, if I remember, very early in the morning. And he said it'd only take him 20 hours.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, so
I
he
think
should
he
be
will
here.
be. If he gets here 3 or 4 hours before, we can maybe quickly concoct a plan with them to actually rescue. Because if we can rescue the hostages, I believe with Civ's help, we can fight them
We
off.
yeah.
Remy,
I have some faith.
you know that the person casting the spell is within 120 feet. If you talk loud enough, he's gonna hear you.
I mean, I assume this would be as audience was walking.
Oh yeah, we're like whispering to each
We're,
other.
we're like whispering. As
No, I'm just saying because the illusion cut just as Remy was about to say or do something. The target is 120 feet away at most.
Raimi will just shout, "A shepherd won't buy a lamb they've never seen."
Oh.
Okay. Well, you don't get an answer for that.
Good try.
Alright. Anyway, I guess I won't. I guess we'll continue walking back to get the rest of the group together to tell them how the negotiations went.
Well,
And then I guess we'll come upon whatever Toby did.
that's what I was gonna say. You arrive back in town, you know, slightly satisfied that you're gonna be cutting it movie close movie worthy close. If everything goes well, and you arrive at this odd image of people being shoved in the inn, doing their best, recognizing that this is the labor class of the town being piled inside the inn, and the militia doing its best while you can see the light in the Lord's Manor that feels a bit cozy when you look at it.
They'll be fine.
And Tobiyashi has a little bit of an exasperated look on his face as things didn't go exactly as he wanted to. And probably a slight hint of panic when he sees Georg audience and Remy. Remy, are you going back to the town? Or are you staying out in the field?
Oh, now I have more help. See, I'm gonna leave their back.
Remy, are you going into the town or staying in the field?
I think he would at least like go through town, but I think in the end, Raimi is going to be spending the time that they do have continuing with what recon he can achieve.
Okay.
But that'll have to be a carryover to next session, I think.
Yeah. Looking at the time, most likely.
While everybody was out doing stuff, and I was just with the construct, I think this Fisher's just kind of like last ditch effort.
Okay.
And he's just gonna put it on. Okay. I command you to do what you want to do and not what I tell you to do. And then I'm just going to tell it to, like, walk 10 feet over there, or go pick that thing up, or...
He just answers, I am confused. I have to not do the order that you tell me.
Just if somebody tells you to do something, don't hear it.
Does that apply to this order?
No. Following orders.
I believe I understand.
Okay. Walk over there.
He walks over there.
I think Fisher just kicks a rock out of frustration. He's just gonna keep trying stuff like that until they get back.
Pushing to try and make him not do what he is ordered. You get the odd cycle of answer of yes, I understand. I want to do.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Long shot here.
Okay.
I asked Terranad, could I put you in him, and could you control his body?
Well, there needs to be a place for me to reside. The process, if there is, the process will take some time.
I asked the construct.
Usually it's a wizard that does this. There is a process which needs to be done if it doesn't happen naturally. And I doubt very much he has what needs to be had for the process to occur naturally. So,
What do you mean for the process to occur naturally?
well, the process
For him
occurred
to wake up?
naturally with you, but if a proficient wizard tries, he can give me control of something. I guess you and your bird friend could try and figure out what the process is.
Well, weren't you put into constructs that were not sentient? And you would.
That's what I mean. There's a process to it, and it's usually done by a wizard.
You gotta
Do you
find a
remember
little girl.
anything about the process?
Well, that's always a thing. How you're asking me if I remember what happened before I awake.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I remember dreaming. I don't remember.
Raimi knew a wizard. Maybe he has an idea. I will ask the construct if it is built to accept a docent.
He is unsure.
Balls.
Literally, it's a ball.
This dude doesn't know anything. I guess I wait for everybody else to get back.
Well, I guess, Remy, you're going to have something to figure out. All right, so as you get back in and you all have your own endeavors, Remy still doing reconnaissance. For how long are you going to be doing reconnaissance? Just that I need to know everything you're going to do, just to have a timetable of what happens.
I mean, like essentially, what Raimi is going to do is that since they have essentially like established a perimeter, Raimi is going to attempt to determine, like, since they only tested the ones where there was like clearly a line of torches,
Okay.
and presumably receiving information that they've also covered the back line. Raimi's just going to see if the children are being kept at the perimeter, or
Okay.
if maybe they, and by extension, if they're not there, then they're being kept somewhere else.
All right, so you're going to be doing this for at least an hour, possibly more, going just around the circle and. Okay.
The orbs ring, right? Audibly.
Huh?
They can be placed in a silent mode.
I don't want to.
You don't know if they can remotely be placed in silent mode, but the orb itself can become silent.
If I need to find Raimi, I don't want to. You're trying to be sneaky, and then I call your phone and it starts ringing.
Pick up the phone.
Of all the movie cliches, that's not the one you expect in a D&D game.
All right, so you all gather up in the village, and with all of this information just pouring over you of Jorg and audience attempt, Tobiashi's attempt, Fisher's attempt, and Remy, who again disappeared and is doing another attempt at something, as he always does. This is where we're going to end tonight's episode. All right. So. A lot of planning during that episode.
Unhinged Toby this episode.
I'm going to be very honest. I was expecting less conversation and more action, but it happens. It's what happens when you have a player that.
Okay.
No, but honestly, it's as much my fault as anyone else. I'm the dungeon master. I should know these things, and I should know my players. And that's what happens when a player is fairly new. I don't know him all that much. And so, I make planning mistakes. I hope you are going to forgive me, and I hope you are going to be there next week.
I definitely feel like we got caught away in the memes and chat and totally bungled any kind of preparation we could have done.
But
Yeah.
like I said, I don't want any of you to push that on yourself. It's entirely my fault. There's a player I don't know as much as the rest of the group, and I misplanned because of that. That's really one of the job of the dungeon master as written in the dungeon master guide. So it's really my fault. Don't worry about it. And don't feel bad about it. Don't worry about it for those watching. Don't feel bad about it for players. But hey, it shows what the group is about, and it will help me make encounters that are more tailored to the group. So, it's not that bad.
You live and you learn. Or next week we die.
That's what I was going to
Start
say. That's what I was going to say. Yes, you live and you learn, or you die and you make a new character and you've learned. So, all right. Thank you all for watching. I hope you'll be there next Wednesday for the new episode, or next Friday for the rebroadcast. And in the meantime, as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing, or if you can't do any of those, you can also help us simply by spreading the word of the channel. It always helps in every single way. Especially since we are getting more raids as of lately. So that's because there's more of you watching, more people following. So it helps. So as always, thank you for watching. Be safe, and especially with that, I don't know, what wave is this? The 5th wave of this pandemic arriving? Please
I
stay
didn't even
healthy.
realize there was another wave happening.
Oh, no, yeah, well, they're talking about it
We're
here.
just like
I just forgot
consistent.
about it.
There was
And look,
another-
there's going to be just as many waves as there are at a baseball game.
Good Lord.
I'm just gonna stick with this like the flu.
Do we get a 7th inning stretch then?
All right, so...
I mean, at least everyone will go home.
Everybody goes outside. And it's a big day.
More people
Go
watching.
home and watch
It's
on
good.
television.
All right, so stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.